Hiya. So, being a newer channel, like I know that I am so far beyond the whole challenge days of YouTube, and that's great. But I figure one of the easiest ways to find the few people who might need to see whatever nonsense I'm about to put up on this would be to kind of let you know about this and kind of go from there. So it's probably the only tag. I say that and then I'll probably do a series of 1,000 tags, but it's probably the only tag I'm going to do for now. And it's the getting to know you tag, or getting to know me tag. Suppose over time I'd get to know some of you, but for now, it's kind of a me, my type of situation, isn't it? So, suppose I should start. So, it's a list of 30 questions. Nothing too invasive, we are only just getting to know each other, but how about we start? Question 1. Where did you grow up? I grew up in Annapolis until I was about 12. It's in Maryland. For some reason, I've noticed that not a lot of people outside of like the DC area know that Annapolis exists and is like the capital city of a state. And I don't really understand that because I remember when I was in the 5th grade, I learned a rap about all 50 state capitals. I figured everyone else learned it too, but apparently I was wrong. And then when I was 12, we moved to a small city that no one's ever heard of outside of the state of Georgia called Marietta, just outside of Atlanta. So, that's where I grew up. Question 2. Where do you currently live? At present, I live in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, which is apparently something else people don't realize. People don't realize that, like, we're a thing, which is weird. It's like, I've heard stories from friends. Thankfully, I'm blissfully old and don't get carded for things anymore. But I've heard from friends that, like, they've had their Washington, D.C. IDs questioned places, like in the United States, and I don't. How? Um, Question 3. Who is your first best friend? Now, that's a strangely worded question, because, like, do they mean, like, first best friend you ever had? Or do they mean, like, you have a list of best friends at present, and one of them is first? Like, I suppose we'll go with first that I ever had. There's this kid named Byron. We went to elementary and some of middle school together, and we were both big old Star Trek nerds. And we used to, like, pretend we were on, like, the bridge of the Enterprise. So, he was good people. I should find out what he's doing. Question 4. How tall are you? Well, I'm 6 foot, flat-footed, 6'1" in heels, as the ladies say, because apparently I've come to recently discover that ladies have 2 heights, one barefoot and one in shoes, but the only shoes they track are heels. So, why? Question 5. Dogs or cats? Now, this is going to be a bit contentious, but, I don't... Cats. It's cats. Like, I know, like, people are like, oh my god, but, like, dogs are, like, the best creatures on earth, and they're so kind and lovable, and, like, they are, and they're always the sweetest, and that's great. but like cats are standoffish, like I am. Number 6, funniest moment throughout high school. Um, there's this one girl who had a rather distinct laugh, which thankfully my body has forgotten how to mimic. But one day, I think we were all a little bit punch drunk. We were, I think, in run-ups for like a final performance in chorus, and we had all just lost it, and she started laughing, and because of her very, very distinct laugh, which we periodically mimicked, it started spreading, and I felt bad for my chorus teacher that year because nothing else happened that day, and this was fairly early in the class, and we were just done. And like I legit still periodically think back on her laugh and like kind of just grin. I try to make sure I'm doing that like alone, because like just sitting there grinning by yourself while where people can see you, that's not it's not okay. Don't do that. Question 7: where were you born? Now I find it funny that like that's not the first question. Like, seems like it should be closer to 1. But I was born on Andrews Air Force Base, just outside of Washington, D.C. It's where they keep Air Force One. That was my claim to fame throughout middle school. So, I mean, I'm kind of a big deal. Question 8. Are you in or have you gone to college? I am not presently in college. I've said it repeatedly. Old. And I did go to college briefly. I was in college for about a year and a half down in Georgia. In that time, my family moved back up. And so it was just me down in Georgia and my family up in the Maryland, in like the DC area. And then I was not good at school or paying a bill. And so one day, shortly after my 21st birthday, 22nd birthday, not shortly. I'm losing track. But yeah, no, so I moved up in '06 between semesters and just never went back. What is your favorite drink? I mean, I suppose the drink I drink the most is water. I know one would not imagine that, but it is. But I suppose my favorite drink would probably be cider. Like a nice hard cider, not too dry, not too sweet. Like, I don't need it to taste like apple juice. I'd like to know that it's alcoholic. But like sometimes like these dry ciders, like make something that can be enjoyed. That's question 10. What is your spirit animal and why? I don't have a cat. Naps are good. Touching only on my terms. Question 11. You're wearing perfume. What scent is it? So, I don't usually wear cologne, boy perfume. But when I do, it's Burberry Brit. I like it. It smells nice. It's not offensively expensive, but a little bit of luxury to it, I suppose. Question 10. Coffee or tea? Tea. I feel like you can get more variety there. Coffee, for me, it's like bitter or less bitter. Whereas tea, like, you have green tea, oolong, Earl Grey, which I've come to find smells like Fruity Pebbles, and I think that's weird. Earl Grey, what's up with that? Just wondering. Um, 13. What are your life goals? These are lofty questions. Like, you're really digging down to the core of it, aren't you? Life goals, trick someone into marrying me, maybe, at some point. Uh, I've recently decided I'd like to travel. I haven't left the country in my adult life, like, ever. I don't have a passport, which I need to work on. Who knows? Maybe you guys can be a part of that, or can suffer through it with me. But yeah, so, like, travel more, or at all. That's about it. Um, what sports do you play, or have you played? Uh, Sports. Uh, there was one harrowing season during which I was made to play, like, baseball in Little League, and I found a way to get hit by the ball in every single game. I was pretty good at catch. I had good hand-eye coordination. Yes, I was already wearing the glasses, so I couldn't really blame being blind for it, but man, at bat, outfield, shortstop, running bases, just found a way to get hit by the ball a lot, so I only played it for the one season. Have any books you read changed your life? No? No. I tend to read sci-fi fantasy, mostly, and, like, there is some, like, heavy topics discussed sometimes, but, like, it's not like, oh man, I'm a better person because I read Wheel of Time, which is great. I'm not maligning Wheel of Time. I love that series, but, like, number 16. What is your favorite movie? Clue. That's an easy one. Like, finally, they gave me a question that I could just really easily just kind of, boom, there's my answer. Clue's a great movie. If you haven't seen Clue, like, what are you doing with your life? Really? Because it's, like, the best movie. Number 17. Who are your favorite YouTubers? Right now, I'd say I probably watch WebDM a lot. They're really smart, and they have lots of great ideas that not only help, like, DMs, but I think on player side could also be really, really, like, enlightening. Dale Kingsmill, for the same reason, and, like, she does, like, a lot of great storytelling, and, like, she's really good at conveying the information in a way that makes you want it and helps absorb it. Comic Pop, for the same reason. Like, obviously I don't have a wherewithal or the means to read the hundreds and thousands of comics that I'd like to read. And so, like, going into Comic Pop and getting, like, a nice hour-long, like, trade summary, it's really good. And then, like, I've been watching, like, a lot of Jungkook Namja a lot recently. They're funny. I'm trying to learn Korean, so, like, seeing Ollie suffer through it and actually making progress, helpful. Yeah. Number 18. Do you speak any languages, and how well? I suppose you mean any other languages, because, like, obviously I'm speaking one now. I'm decent at Spanish. I can get by. And as I just mentioned, I'm working on Korean. I'm not good. I'm not good at all. But it's a thing that I am working Um, Number 19. Are you single or taken? I may bear the appearance of being a bit of a lady killer, but no, uncommitted at the moment. Uh, yeah. Number 20. What is your idea of of your dream date? I don't know. Movie, musical. I used to do theater, so like going to a musical is great. Then like dinner afterwards, never dinner before. Like I understand, like I'm a bit of a night owl, so like I understand this whole we did eat dinner around like 6 o'clock or whatever. I'm not that girl. So like go to a show, dinner after, so then you can discuss the show over a meal though. Food helps conversations. Like think about the number of like look at Hot Ones. Is it Hot Ones? I'm pretty sure it's Hot Ones. You know, like yeah, like that promises a lot, and I don't eat spicy food, so like nah. But I think food helps lubricate conversation. Um, how would you describe your? Oh no, su ha no. Question 21. How long was your longest relationship? Easy, non-existent. Gone on some dates, but like actual legit relationships, nah, haven't had one. Which old. 22. How would you describe your fashion sense? Non-existent. I put on the first thing that I find that is clean and almost not wrinkled. Yeah. 23. What is your go-to hairstyle? 24. How many siblings do you have? I have six. Six siblings. I have four sisters and two stepbrothers. Uh, 25. What is your go-to fast food order? Up until recently, I would say McDonald's crispy tenders, but like yet another bandwagon that I jumped on was that spicy chicken sandwich from Popeyes is life altering. 26. Do you use PC or Mac? Mac. I don't. I don't know Mac. No. No. PC. I don't own anything made by Apple. I have Android. I have a Samsung. I always have a Samsung. I've had a Samsung since the S3, and I will continue to do that. 27. Your most memorable vacation memory. Okay. I would say probably when I was like 11. We went down to. Would it have been before then or after then? Might have been slightly older. We went down to Miami to visit my uncle, and we were walking on Miami Beach, and all I know is that regardless of how old I was learning my body and learning what my body liked. And there were some attractive individuals on that beach that day, and it was awkward to be there with my family. So it was most memorable because it opened my eyes, and also because I was mortified to be like walking on a beach next to my mom while like checking people out. Uh, what are your morning and evening routines? See, I like this question because I try my best to not engage with mornings whenever I can avoid them. So like they were nice. They included evenings. They didn't mean it that way. What they meant was you wake up and you brush your teeth first and then wash your face, and then like when you're going to bed you gotta brush your teeth again and then wash your face again. So those, but like move everything back like a solid 6 hours. Do you have any bad habits? No, I'm perfect in every way. Um, Apart from the fact that like I'm told frequently, much to my chagrin, that I overthink things. Now I just feel like I think about things, whereas others don't. And so those people are like, "Oh, you're overthinking it." When they're so like that's the bad habit, is judging people really harshly. And tell us one thing about you that we wouldn't know. Well, this is my second YouTube video ever. So really the only things you know about me are those 29 things I've already discussed. But uh why is it so vague? That's so vague. Like why is it so needlessly vague? I like video games. I'm not good at them, but I like them. So yeah, that's a thing. So I think I'm gonna stop here. So here's the get to know me tag challenge thing. Bye.